talent like yourself. Oh, we are live. Fantastic. This is a LinkedIn tear down with our man, Bryan Mulry, who is a fantastic coach, business leader, excellent salesperson, and a good friend who I'm lucky enough to share some time and years with. Bryan, how are you feeling today?
Oh, pretty good. I haven't had a public teardown of my LinkedIn profile before, so that's going to be fun. But no, I'm pretty good. Today's been a long day, and it's a good way to end it.
Well, I'm glad. You know, the exciting thing here is that we can be nice to each other while learning and critiquing each other. So those that have not been on the teardown before, the way this works is we bring up Bryan's profile and I give it a review, and we talk openly about what's working, what's not working, what strategies he could do to improve things, and you could take away those tips to improve your own LinkedIn profile. But in the process of doing that, we also learn about his career, his skills, his expertise, his experience, and you may want to connect with him afterwards. And if you do, I'm sure you can find him on LinkedIn. Funny that. So before we just jump quite into it, can you just tell us who you are, what's your background, how you ended up where you are today? Give us a little bit of a flavor of the journey, Bryan.
Sure, like condensing 26 years into 30 seconds. Essentially, I'm a sales coach and a strategist. I spent a long time in sales. I started off selling suits in a warehouse in the west of Ireland when I was 15. Done everything from selling charity subscriptions to SaaS. After college, I ended up working at Google. Ended up then finishing up in Sales Loft, where I became an account director and an AE there. Before jumping out and setting up my own coaching business. Now I help two kinds of people. I either help software sellers who need to get better at selling, or I help small business owners who need to build a strategy. People sort of typically call me that random Irish dude who curses a lot, but that's a whole other story.
Okay, well, here we are on your LinkedIn profile. Does it match up? First question, when was that photo taken?
When?
When?
That photo was taken almost a full year ago now. Yeah, it was professionally taken while I was still working in Sales Lab, about December 2023.
Well, you haven't aged much, so I actually think it's kind of okay. Actually,
Okay.
we just had Samir on from Sales Motion. His was 8 years old, so
Wow.
that's scary how people can keep their same profile. This is your real estate. This is your landing page, and I love how this flows. Best in class sales strategy. That's your offer. This is what you do: sales strategy and coaching for small business owners. DM for free advice. I love that you have your number on there, your email address, and then ring the bell. Great link. Curiosity, and be as honest as you want to be. Do you get many people coming inbound with the phone number?
Oh, no, not at all. And do you know what? It'd be the number one way to get me. But no. People don't even sell
Same.
with that phone number.
Excuse me. I feel the same, but I like that it's available because it shows you're open and transparent. You are available.
God.
Again, you repeat the message again here. I like this soft kind of tagline. I ask thoughtful questions for a living. Quite nice. And this is personal. Not that I'm interested in theatre, but for some people they might be. Great. So if you're looking at this prime real estate, I don't know where you'd improve it. I think that's a 9 out of 10.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Looking at it now, is there something that you think, oh, I wish I did that or I could do that?
Well, I'm actually looking at the little banner there. We'll build and execute best in class. And that's actually from about 3-4 months ago. There might actually be a little bit more of an accurate way of me describing how I work or what people should do with me. But what's really jumping out at me here is that I didn't realize that people paid so much attention to it. So that's really good to know.
It's like dressing and hair. You think no one cares, but everyone cares.
Well, I think people know I care about my hair, but that's a whole other story.
Well, there you go. So look, you've got this less chat bar. Let's see where that takes us.
Sure.
Interesting you're using Linktree on LinkedIn. I very rarely, if ever, see Linktree links on LinkedIn. Not saying that's a good or bad thing. It's not on brand, unless it is on brand. You'll have to tell us. You've then got 3 options, which is simple and easy. WhatsApp me. I'd pick my number there still, make it green because that's WhatsApp. Book a conversation or book a coaching session. Let's see if people can pay straight away to do business with you. That's cool. What's this hard skill exchange? What's this?
So Hard Skill Exchange is sort of like a marketplace for coaches. It's very American based. And essentially what people can do is they can find a bunch of coaches in there. Think of it as the Airbnb for coaches.
Okay.
Very rarely do people come to me through that. But if someone wants a one-on-one session with me relatively cheap and relatively cheap without having to book a meeting with me and just pay for it and go, here's who this guy is and here's how he works, they can use that as a nice little landing page.
Okay, that's cool. That makes sense. Now here's wow. Okay, there's a lot going on here.
Indeed.
Whoa! I am an Irish guy that parties. 11 years as a rep. Went from a 15-year-old cold caller selling suits. He's got this offer. I try to be funny. Yeah, it does really work out. Big fucking calisthenics. It's a lot me here, don't you think?
Good shout out. Tell me more.
Well, I just think it's nice to know that you've done some fun stuff. The offer's too much. There's too many parts to your offering. Like, what's the one hook which you've kind of started up here? So you've got someone interested. They then go, what's more? They're like, oh, okay, he's Irish. He started selling suits. I don't care that he sold suits. Like, what can he do now for me? He's funny. If you want to have a conversation about anything, I don't know. I don't know why I should speak to this guy. I'm off.
Okay, good call out. Tell me more.
So look at that's a great line. Tell me more, by the way, if anyone's asking, because it's annoying and you have to tell them more. So we just had Samir on there, and I think it's only fair that we bring him up because I actually think he had a great. Sorry, I'm just bringing up another. Okay. So he got a very good score as well. He's got a very clear brand, call to action. I like that he uses who's trusted by. I think you could do that. Mm-hmm. You could have trusted clients or places you've worked. You could list Sales Loft there.
That's true, yeah.
Then look how short this is. Who he is, who he helps, where you can find out more, call to action. One testimonial and one hit. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines. Compare that to you.
Yeah.
Where do you start here? It's all over the place. Mm-hmm. It looks like you've just started coaching, actually.
Interesting.
It looks like you're a young guy, which is fine, who's trying to, prove that he's had a great career. Whereas Samir's doesn't need to prove anything. He's credible.
Yeah.
Your offer, you do get to a call to action, but it's all the way down here, and I think they've lost you by then.
Yeah. I think this is more stuff for a website rather than stuff for a LinkedIn page.
Yes.
Cool. That's actually really cool. So essentially, I got to reframe this to it's the standard problem that salespeople have, which is I'm talking about myself rather than talking about the people that I serve.
I do the same. Look, it is a challenge, but this is why I like the LinkedIn teardown, because it's only in these moments that you realise that there's an opportunity to improve things. So there you go. All right, talk to me about. Wow, this is a big content post. Let's go straight there. I'm excited about this.
Now the featured section needs to change, but yes, indeed, this is just
2 years ago. Tell us about this one. What happened here? Because you obviously went viral.
This was an interesting one in that. Where it actually began was this video. I saw it on, must have been TikTok or Instagram, and I was like, this could be funny if I talk about an AE booking a meeting and an SDR just getting involved and how people don't, pay percentages of deals to SDRs. And then I just chucked it up without thinking about it too much. It was a part of my time where my content was kind of trying to be a little bit more humorous. It just took off. And it was one of those things where it really resonated with people. And it's quite relatable to a lot of people, and it just took off. The most viral post I put in, but while it was going live, I went, cool. I'll just add this to my featured section, and it's nothing crazy. It's just a stupid simple video, but it was just right message, right execution, right time.
And that's how it goes, and I think it's great. I think what those type of videos do to your potential followers or prospects show you that you can influence the LinkedIn audience. What it doesn't have, although you could add, this is just an idea I've just had actually, you could come to this and you could put a comment saying, if you enjoy my thought process, book a call with me. Because people will keep coming back to this 2 years later.
That's an interesting point.
If you look at what I've got on my featured section, and again, this is just an idea, I've got a book a call.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like an advertisement space.
It's basically advertising space. So if I was you, I would have maybe an advertising space and then move these along a bit, because I think you can have 4. And people will still learn about it.
That's a great point. What kind of things? I mean, it could be things like book a call. Here's my website.
What your offer? You might have a free offer on the front end, like take my coaching diagnostic kit for a day, or I don't know what it is, but
I've got a checklist that I'll be putting up soon.
Okay, well there you go. Use my checklist. So let's have a look on comments. You're pretty active on commenting. Do you do many videos? You do. For me, I know they don't get massive engagement. Oh, I was also on the My Sales Coach podcast. Mark's great actually on this show, isn't he?
Yeah. He gets a lot out of people. I will say that the screen you're sharing is your own page.
Oh, sorry.
Christ, I do a lot of videos, don't I? Damn.
But video is the only way to show that you're more than AI these days, because everyone can write a ChatGPT text post.
Yeah, that's true.
So keep up the video. Keep it up. Keep trying new angles, new approaches. This will come good for you. Imagery. More to do here. Articles. You haven't got. You've not got a newsletter.
No, I do not have a newsletter. No.
So newsletter is something I've been winning on right now. If you go to my newsletter, I've got 4,000 subscribers. They get one email newsletter from LinkedIn a week, but it triggers an email notification in their inbox.
Interesting.
So look at this. This is my newsletter section. How to build sales confidence. That's the subscribers, and they get an email notification, not from me, from LinkedIn from me.
And is this that you publish an article? You publish, what do you publish on this newsletter?
Yeah, you publish an article. I've got my book, so I publish a page on my book, which is easy, but you could come up with something that's interesting to you.
Or interesting to my listeners, I would prefer. That's really interesting. Building out a newsletter. Yeah, why not?
So I'm seeing some people coming from Instagram. If you've got any questions, DM me on LinkedIn. Let's go back to Bryan. This is a LinkedIn teardown where we get the world's best LinkedIn creators on for a teardown. So tell us just a little bit. We're coming to the end of the session now. Just tell us a little bit about your story on how you went from Google to what was Sales Loft and what you're doing now as a coach. But I'd also really like to know, now you're out of Sales Loft, what is your opinion of sequences and email versus what you used to sell versus now? And you can say what you want, God damn it.
Okay. Do you want to start there?
Yeah.
Okay. So the cadencing framework that Sales Loft facilitates and outreach and everything else facilitates is super powerful and is done, and the thought process behind it is really, really clear. However, it is typically executed badly by people seeking shortcuts. And the tools like Sales Loft and outreach and things like that can facilitate bad behavior more than they can encourage good behavior. So I really like the tools like a Sales Loft, an outreach, an Apollo, things like that, when used to be personalized, relevant, and effective, and to organize a super personalized one-to-one outreach. When it is used to spam out a bunch of messages on multiple different platforms, then it's used incorrectly. So the idea of creating a cadence or a sequence, a series of steps that people move towards, where you are reminded daily of the things you need to do, and it's just an organizational tool, wonderful tool. And even then, when Sales Loft did things like call recording and deal management and forecasting and making the reps more efficient in that side of things, perfect. But when it's used in the wrong way, when it's used as a marketing tool or used as just spamming out a bunch of messages in a sequence, because obviously these people need to hear from me, then it's used really, really badly. So it's more, I still really like the tool. It's just the effective use of it it's encouraged poor behavior at times.
It's diminished returns now, I would say.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
you started,
But people, when I started, you used to get like any thoughts from me, and you'd go, "Oh my God, it's a human being who's saying any thoughts on this." They're replying back to their own message. Whereas now, you look at any thoughts and you delete it. Do you know, it's a tough one.
yeah, agreed. And what's your view on like, are there any interesting AI tools that are like taking over now, where you're like, wow, this is powerful. I'd love to have sold this, or I could sell this.
Everyone's talking about Clay. Clay's an interesting one. I think they actually need to change their UI slightly, because I tried to get into it as someone who knows how to sell, and I found it really difficult to figure out how it worked. It's a technologist's tool.
I don't think Clay's for sales reps though. It's for RevOps.
Yeah.
So I don't see Clay being a sales tool. I see it being a back engine GM engineering tool for RevOps. You know, I think the next version of what's going to come after sales, after an outreach, that's what I'm interested in figuring out. Because I think we're in this vacuum right now where SDR, what really is an SDR? That's scary.
I think what's closest to it is actually things like a Sixth Sense or a Zoom Info, where you can spot. It's like spotting people where they are in marketing funnels or buyer journeys and reacting accordingly.
Yeah,
it's like this person needs a personalized one-on-one message now. Go craft the message. But sales is always going to be human to human level. It's the purpose of sales is human to human connection. AI can facilitate a lot of that. But if there's a tool out there that'll be able to say, you should send this message to this person on this channel because of all the everything I know about this person, and aid sales with information that they don't have, that I think is sort of the future of it. I think there's going to be a lot less sellers, but they're going to be a lot more personalized in their outreach.
Love it. So tell us, as you wrap up, what's your LinkedIn goals and professional goals for the end of 2024 and 2025, this time next year? Where do you want to be?
So the LinkedIn goals are pretty simple. I actually need to clear up my connections. So I've got a lot of dead accounts on that connection list, and they've got to go. Which, if you'd asked me 3 months ago, I'd have said trying to get to 10K followers. Now it's trying to make sure that the quality of my connections and the people that I have in that community are the highest quality that I can get to. And then my goal for next year with that side of things is to make sure that LinkedIn is a revenue generating machine for me. When someone comments on my posts or someone else's posts, I have a play for it. When someone looks at my profile, I have a play for it. When I comment on someone else's post, I'm doing it for a reason. Just paying a little bit more attention to the quality of what I do on that platform.
Well, you heard it here first. Bryan is focused on the quality. You've been listening to the LinkedIn Teardown, hosted by myself, James Ski, and our special guest, Bryan Mulry, from his own business, his own coaching service. And if you want coaching, DM coaching, connect with Bryan on LinkedIn. It's been fantastic to have you on board. Hang back a second, and thank you, everybody, for listening.
Thank you guys for listening.